Alright, so the other day I picked up an ignition coil, a new O2 sensor, and an ignition switch for the car just to solve any possible ignition related problems. The old ignition coil was pretty rusted, the connections were pretty corroded, and so I took the harness off, or I guess you could call it a harness, off of the motor, put in a new one, and got this universal O2 sensor strapped onto its factory connector. You just slide it over once you strip the wiring down from the old connection, and then you shrink wrap it on. So that should work. The ignition switch is also another thing that I bought. These cars are known for issues with the ignition switches, so I got a new one. Except I don't know if there's something wrong with the screws or if they're not original, but they are a very weird bit and they're almost circular, so they strip really bad. So I'm going to need to get a Dremel to make them a flathead. But hopefully we throw everything together and it should run better. I decided that it's time for a new O2 sensor because the one that was in there was pretty gross. It was absolutely covered in oil. So, bought a new one. Might as well get a new ignition coil. I got a new distributor cap and rotor. So, new spark plugs, wires. So, I'll get all the ignition stuff out of the way. And then we can go from there. Hopefully this will help it a little bit. Maybe that O2 sensor was causing it to give it a bad reading on the amount of fuel it needed because it was pretty gummed up. And the ignition switch, if there's any sort of electrical delivery problem, that should fix that. But yeah, that's just a little update. Nothing really exciting. But there's my thought process.